So at this point, you guys have probably seen Chris Bumstead's list of the 10 only exercises that he claims every man needs to do to build muscle. So I thought, why not make my own rendition? This is, in my humble opinion, the only 10 exercises men need to build muscle. Here we go. Okay, so first exercise we're going to be talking about is the seated shoulder press, either dumbbell or cables. I actually think cables is better, but one, it's harder to set up for cables, but if you're lucky enough to have a machine that has a dedicated cable shoulder press, that is ideal. Otherwise, dumbbell shoulder press will suffice. And of course, because this is a shoulder press, we are targeting the front delts. Okay, moving on to the second exercise and the only leg exercise on this list. So I had a hard time deciding between something like a conventional barbell squat or a lunge type of pattern, but ultimately I decided the Bulgarian hack split squat is my choice for the #1 leg exercise. Obviously, we're gonna be targeting our quads as well as our glutes, not so much hamstring, but hey, this is a list of 10. And I think overall functionally, this gives you the most bang for your buck out of any movement without having, like, let's say your lower back be a limiting factor, right? If you haven't seen me do these from my leg day video, these are absolutely brutal. You do not need a ton of weight at all to actually do them. So let me hit the set. Let me get into my right mental space to hit this. Here we go. Oh, this exercise, man, no joke at all. Okay, but now we're moving on to the third exercise you need in order to build muscle. Let's go. Ooh. Okay, so third exercise on the list is a unilateral pronated grip row with an elbow flare. So because we're doing a pronated grip and we're pulling with more of an elbow flare, this is gonna be targeting more of your traps as well as your rhomboids, essentially your mid-back, right? Mid-back is important for increasing the thickness of your back end. And let's be honest, the detail looks really nice when you have a nice mid-back. A big tip for this movement is a lot of the muscles in your mid-back are responsible for pinching your shoulder blades back, right? So what you wanna do for this is making sure that as you pull, so from the starting position, you're allowing your shoulder blades to come forward and protract, and when you pull, you're gonna retract your scapula, meaning pinch your shoulder blades back like that. If you focus on constantly protracting as you go down the eccentric and retracting as you actually do the concentric, you're gonna be maximizing the concentric of each rep, making sure you're able to contract as hard as you can. So I hope you saw how my shoulder blades were constantly protracting and retracting, the back shot. But now, moving on to the fourth exercise out of 10. Let's go. All right, so fourth exercise is the cable unilateral L raise. I like setting it up so that it's focusing on the lengthened position, meaning down here at the beginning is the hardest part of the lateral raise and progressively gets easier as we go up. Now you could drop this cable all the way down to have it more mid-leg focused, where the hardest part would be around here. It's up to preference. I like doing Lathan because, you know, in a world that's not constrained by you choosing only 10 exercises, the hardest part of dumbbell lateral raise will be up here, so I basically do this to counter that, right? Now, a lot of people give me flack for the stance I take. I take this, people call it like a sumo stance when I actually do a lateral raise. Now, I do this because it's so much more stable than if I'm standing up here trying to like, you know, like get it up. It's just weird, right? So take this wide stance, take the sumo stance, whatever you want to call it, and you're gonna find that movement's a lot more stable. So here we go. Also, last thing you can do, which I'm literally gonna implement right now, I hate grabbing the handle because it kind of becomes a limiting factor, especially in the last few reps. So what I do is I actually use this D handle as a cuff, taking my grip out of the movement, okay? Now don't put it on your actual wrist. I would say put it more on like your, the backside of your hand, near the wrist joint. Generally it's gonna be more comfortable that way. Here we go. Okay, fifth exercise, halfway there. My choice is a lower lat focused pull down, meaning a wide grip, frontal plane pull down that is mainly focusing on arm reduction, right? Meaning getting your arms together. Now, the reason why I chose this over, let's say like, you know, something narrower grip is, I personally think for a lot of guys, if you're trying to get that sweep, focusing on lower lat makes a lot more sense. And with that said, even though this is technically biasing your lower lat, you're really hitting everything because it's still a pull down, right? So I'm lucky enough to have this free motion cable lat pull down, but if you don't have this, a traditional wide grip barbell lat pull down works as well. Just make sure you get a wide grip with it in order to kind of stay in this frontal plane motion. Okay, let's hit the set. Okay, so that was exercise number 5. Moving on to exercise number 6. There we go, exercise number 6. Exercise number 6, the incline dumbbell bench press. Now you know I had to choose an exercise for chest. I was debating whether to do flat dumbbell bench or incline. However, I feel like for most people, they will benefit from solely doing an incline dumbbell bench because the clavicular head, the upper chest, this portion up here tends to be the most underdeveloped on most individuals. So going with incline is my go-to chest exercise. I know we're limited. In the ideal world, of course, we can choose more exercises, but if we're only limited to 10, this is my choice, hands down. Forgot to mention, with a 30-degree bench incline, with a 30-degree incline, don't go lower, don't go higher. I think 30 is a sweet spot, regardless of whether you have an arch or not. Moving on to exercise 7. Okay, so for exercise number 7, I'm choosing the often neglected rear delts, and we're gonna be doing the rear delt row. Now, the reason why I stress training your rear delts so much is the rear delt is often an underdeveloped muscle group for most people, right? Because, you know, modern life has you hunched over like this. If you do train the rear delt, it helps fix your posture, as well as you get this nice 3D look on my shoulders, on your shoulders, right? So I train the rear delt. You not only look like you have bigger shoulders, from the side you look thicker, from the back it also helps out to give you a little more detail on your backs. Anyone with big rear delts, automatically when you see that, you're like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy definitely puts in the work. So when it comes to rear delt exercises, I was struggling in deciding between doing a rear delt row or a cable high to low rear delt fly. Ultimately, I opted for the rear delt row just because I feel like you can better load the movement, and plus it's a compound movement, and if you only have 10 exercises to work with, like, I think choosing exercises that give you a big bang for your buck as opposed to exercises isolating your specific muscle groups is probably more advantageous overall, right? Okay, so with this, the key thing is having roughly 45 degrees of shoulder abduction when you're doing the actual row. And for this one, you want to think about just pulling backwards as opposed to trying to like squeeze your scapula. You shouldn't do any of that. Literally just roll backwards, and you're gonna feel the rear delt fire. 3, 4, 5. So that's exercise number 7. Moving on to the last 3 exercise 8, 9, and 10. Exercise number 8. So we know we have to train our triceps in order to get that nice thick arm, right? But what form of tricep exercise should you do? Should you do overhead? Should you do at your side? If you're at your side, should you be adducting? So my top choice for tricep exercise and number 8 choice for the only 10 exercises you will need to build muscle as a man. Now, or a woman, I don't know why, so man only. I'm opting for a unilateral cable tricep extension with a 45-degree, you can also call it the upright tricep kickback, whatever, right? Now, key thing with this is I like taking a hook grip on the cables to make sure that my grip is solid throughout the movement. And as you can tell, I don't use any attachment. You can grab the cables directly. And when you're doing this, the only movement should be coming from the extension of your elbow and of course the flexion as you go through this eccentric. So you can see here, that is the rep. 2, 3. Notice how my arms are not up my side. I try to stabilize myself with my offhand as much as I can. 8. So technically this movement is going to be more biasing the long head of your triceps, which is the inner meaty part of the tricep, this down here. However, when we're talking about biasing muscle groups and a muscle like the tricep, I mean, they all worked to extend your elbow. So we're talking about marginal differences here, and that's why I don't think you need 2 different tricep exercises in a bare bones routine to actually grow your triceps overall. This is my choice, like, by far. Okay, so that was triceps, exercise number 8. Moving on to the last 2 exercises. Exercise number 9 first. Let's go. Okay, exercise number 9, you know I had to choose at least one bicep exercise. Now, I could have chose a preacher curl, I could have chose a standing barbell, easy curl, bar curl. Ultimately, I opted for the incline dumbbell curl. Now, before you guys mentioned how biceps don't benefit from stretch mediated hypertrophy, doing incline dumbbell curl just limits the load, so it makes it just harder for no reason without really reaping any benefits. Now, before y'all say that, the reason why I decided to choose this incline dumbbell curl is I find that this is probably the best feeling bicep curl on my elbows, okay? I deal with a lot of elbow pain, specifically golfer's elbow, and this movement is pretty much pain-free every single time. But ultimately, you choose a bicep exercise, apply progressive overload over time, train close enough to failure, and your biceps are gonna grow. That was set number 9. Had to choose a bicep exercise, of course. Now, moving on to the very last exercise of this list of 10. You guys might be surprised, but it's my list. So the last exercise I'm choosing is an ab exercise. I'm going with the hanging leg raise. Now, if you're not able to do a hanging leg raise, I recommend doing a grounded supine leg raise, basically a leg raise on your back. However, the hanging leg raise is my personal favorite leg exercise because not only is the body weight variant pretty difficult, meaning I can easily just progressive overload by adding reps, but also it looks pretty gnarly when you're lean. So let me hit this and we can get out of here. Alright people, we are back in Argyle to eat some Viet food. Now instead of going to Nha Hang, we're here at the Nang Kitchen. I'm about to get some more pho, as well as maybe an avocado smoothie. It's 3 p.m. right now, we haven't been able to eat a single thing, so me and Frank are both starving. Alright, we're here at the Nang Kitchen. I am gonna have some pho again. It's really quiet here, but this place is really good, so I'm excited. Also, I'm gonna get an avocado smoothie. $6. And what, Frankie, you getting the bun thit nung?
Yes, sir.
Bun thit nung. Alright, we'll fast forward to when we get the food. I think he changed his mind, he's gonna get mi quang. So we're basically getting the same thing we got last time, but at a different place. Let's compare and contrast. If you want to see us eat Viet food last time, check the video in the card right now.
Can I have the iced coffee, please?
Smoothie has arrived. Yeah. Alright, so here is how the pho's looking. It looks different. It looks different from Nha Hang. Frozen here. After a rainy day, it's the perfect thing to eat. Does it focus weird or something?
No, it's just so close.
Okay.
God damn.
Alright. Let me try it. Let me try it. Whoa. It's lighter than Nha Hang.
I actually like lighter foot broth foods.
You know what checks out? Now, which place do I like better?
Honestly, I can't choose. They're both really good. You guys gotta try both. So I guess now you have a better understanding of what I would include in a bare bones workout routine.
With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the only 10 exercises you need to build muscle as a man. But I wanna know, what exercises would you guys have chosen? Drop it down in the comments. Hit subscribe if you wanna see more videos like this. I'll see you all in the next one.